are these podcasts? WATP.
It was announced that Who Are These Broadcasters 100th episode yesterday with Christian Bladt and Eric Zane. We're going to have a very special guest. And I remember talking to Christian about this, like, no one knows who this is going to be. It's only between me, Eric, and this person. No one else knows. I go, I don't want to know, man. Oh, did you know?
Somebody knew. I knew.
I'm like, I don't. This fucking guy. I'm like, I don't want to know. I'm not the guy who peeks in the closet before Christmas. I want to be surprised. I'm excited about it. It's your 100th episode. I'm sure you get great cameos, and they did. Adam Bush was on there. Dr. Steve was on there. Hack Ride. Cardiff Electric was on.
Wow.
We played a special game.
It was the game I have problems with, but other than that, it was star-studded. And so I'm like, yeah, that'll be great. And what he decided to do was bring on Tom Myers.
Where did he come up with that idea to bring Tom Myers to WATP or B? That's such a novel, great, new, awesome idea. Was it OJ? Did OJ do that?
Hold on a second.
Thank you.
Adam, I see where you're going with this. But there's a difference between bringing on Tom Myers and interviewing him and asking him why he does a show that's garbage and what he's trying to accomplish and why he thinks that Chad's doing things well when Chad's fucking up his life every turn he makes. Mm-hmm. Rather than like bring on Tom Myers as like a guy, like, hey, we'll be on the panel and we'll just shoot the shit. This is Shuli Agar level stuff. Shuli did this when he brought Tom Myers on the show to make fun of Stuttering John. I go, Shuli, what are you doing with this? Are you retarded? I remember when DabbleCon happened. And we were talking about getting Helga and Lisa out to DabbleCon. And, I'm collaborating with Shuli on the show. He's like, you sure they're going to be good on WATP? I'm like, dummy, I'm not even on WATP. We're going to let them do their own show. We're all going to laugh at them. Like, that's what you do. Like, you should know about Whack Packers. You're the Whack Pack Wrangler. I didn't understand this. And so I was like shocked that Shuli didn't get it. This is like Opie with Ron the Waiter. Like, are we clowning this guy or is he your co-host? I can't tell. Well, Christian obviously can't tell either because this is him bringing Tom Myers onto Who Are These Broadcasters on this fine channel that we're watching right now.
And it is indeed time for our special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a fan of Saturday Night Live, particularly the Weekend Update segment, you'll enjoy spending some time with our next guest. Do give it up for Mr. Tom Myers.
So obviously that was a little misdirect. Like we thought Dennis Miller was going to show up.
The worst misdirect ever.
Yeah, because Christian and Dennis Miller are acquaintances. I was going to say friends, but I'm not going to give them that. They're acquaintances. He used to work. Obviously, Christian was a producer on the Dennis Miller Zone. He was on the channel, or he was on the show. And so, he sets it up with like, Weekend Update, Saturday Night Live. And I was excited. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's had Jackie the Joke Man on the show before. I can't get him on my show. So Christian's got some pull. He's got some connections. Like, oh, cool. Is Dennis Miller going to be on Who Are These Podcasts? And then it's fucking Tom Myers. Like, okay, good joke. And what you do with this, Christian, is you go, all right, thanks, Tom. Gone. That's it. You played up this thing. We have a special guest. You don't know who it's going to be. Carl doesn't even know. And then you show it's Tom Myers. And you go, okay, that's enough. We get it.
What did you do with the money?
Nope.
From Tom Myers versus the...
What's that, Cardiff?
I feel like we're watching Christian's performance evaluation.
By the way, I was thinking that as I was writing this down. I have much worse things to say to him in private. So just so you know. Just so you know, Christian, if you're here watching, that there's other notes that we will be
brace yourself.
We will be discussing.
I hope you can sense how pleased Eric Zane is. He's like, he could not care less. It means nothing to him.
No, it means absolutely nothing.
Tom Myers. From Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. Tom, thank you so much for hanging out with Eric and I on our 100th episode.
Well, thank you so much for the invite, and thank you so much for getting the name of my podcast correct.
All right, so what I want to point out here is that Tom Myers this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Between Christian and Tom, neither of them can ever stop talking. So Christian brings Tom on, and then Tom can't just be like, hey, thanks for having me. Nope.
So much for getting the name of my podcast correct. Therefore, being one of the 10% of people who've managed to get it correct, and also thank you for surprising the hell out of me by saying, "Hey, Tom, would you like to make another appearance on the Who Are These Podcasts channel?" once again. So nobody's more surprised than me. So I anticipate the chat blowing up right now.
Well, yeah,
I anticipate aneurysms being had all over the internet. So listen, nobody's more surprised than me. All right,
They're
so just
soulless
get the fuck out of
scum.
it.
But
Don't even worry about that shit. Don't even worry about it, Tom.
if you want to talk, to Tom,
The lack of confidence with Tom Myers. He said the same thing 3 times in a row.
Yep.
No one's more surprised than me. All right, great. No, but hold on. I can't believe it. I'm so surprised. No one's more surprised than me. Shut the fuck up, Tom.
Tom, are you done being surprised yet?
Holy shit.
But Eric Zane in the back just trying to give him advice.
Yeah.
Don't look at the chat. Don't worry about
Right.
He's trying to move it along. He knows he said the same thing 4 times. He's like,
Yeah.
all right.
All right, you're on the show. And no one wants to get off the show faster than Eric Zane.
I love him.
He's like, are we doing an extra long episode today? What's going on? What are we doing?
Oh, all right. We're back.
I'm going to go take my dog out to pee before he pees on the couch behind me.
He hasn't blinked in a minute and a half.
So Christian, they bring him on for politics too. And so Christian is going to set up a clip here. And only the way Christian can set up a clip.
Tom Myers versus the rest of the world is a largely political conversation. So I thought it was a perfect fit to have you on for Who Are These Politics? And I do want to dive into it. And
there are so many things from today that I haven't even scratched the surface of. There's the alligator Alcatraz, the one big beautiful bill may or may not pass the Senate. That's stuff for next week. We have to look back because that's the problem with doing a show once a week, Tom, is that sometimes you're dealing with stories that you're excited to get into, but everybody's moved on from them over the last week. But
let's start off with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth crediting President Trump for the accomplishment of the military action in Iran.
So I had to speed that up because it went on and on and on. And I'm going to give Christian a pointer. He probably won't see this because he doesn't watch the show. But if he does,
He's in the chat. He's watching.
I know he is. That was my joke. That was an insider for us.
AB, come on.
But if he is watching this, just a quick pointer. So he set up that clip by saying, now there's tons of better clips than this. Tons of things that have happened that I'd love to talk about, like this thing happened and then that thing happened, and those are all great and well, and we'll probably talk about it at some point, but right now I want to talk about this old thing that we've already seen that's kind of like boring. You have to act like the clip you're going to play is the greatest clip you could possibly be showing at that time. You won't believe this clip. There have been times when I'm showing clips of something, I'm like, fuck, I just saw Opie do this thing 30 minutes before we came on this show. And I'd love to talk about that, but I don't have it prepared. So we got to do this thing from yesterday. I never let on that I'm like, this isn't as good as it could be. Don't say that. Why would you ever fucking say that? And this is like a filibuster to explain that we're going to watch this clip. And the whole time he's going, it's going to suck.
Get confident, stupid.
What's he doing? Anyway, so let's hear Tom's take on this clip that he played, because this is why you brought Tom on the show, is not to clown him and explain that his political takes are retarded, as you should, as I try to do on a regular basis. No. Let's have Tom riff on this this political information.
We're not celebrating that, but I'm just making the point that did this strike you as something that we have to characterize this way, or is Pete just trying to make sure he doesn't get fired?
Well, I will say that in the interest of full disclosure, like Mr. Secretary here, I am a documented alcoholic, been in recovery, haven't touched a drop of alcohol in 13 years.
I'm gonna just roll my eyes real quick. A documented alcoholic? Is he still pretending that this is what his backstory is?
I want to know what his recovery looks like. What is that like?
And change. So, but I've known people like Pete Hegseth. I've gone drinking with people like Pete Hegseth, and like it can't be that much of a complex operation if the battle plan could easily be concocted by just like
He's reading this.
A drunk guy just spurting stuff into a bar. Let's go. Let's find people who look Muslim and just hell with it. Let's just get them like that. That's pretty much their battle plan right there.
I do think that might be the internal dialogue after he asked them to leave the bottle of Maker's Mark in front of him.
And then Christian justifies it with a tag. This is the worst penalty of all.
These are dark days.
These are dark days right now on the WATP channel.
There's a real skinny Chad quality to Christian here and what
Yes.
he's doing.
What's he
They
doing?
can't raise their voice. They have a way this is going to go in their minds. And even when it's not going the way they want it, they still have to convince themselves that it is. He said it. It's like a Saturday Night Live thing. Saturday Night Live would do that. They would be like, can you believe that this popular person from the news is here? And you're like, wow. And then what? If it's not funny what they do with them, nobody cares that Mayor
Right.
Cuomo is here. Like, just it's funny or it's not. I think he knew Tom's going to come, everyone's going to lose their mind, and then we're going to be stuck with Tom Myers and Christian Bladt for the next hour.
But it's worse than that. Like, he literally plays a clip, talks about it for way too long, and then immediately goes to Tom, what's your take on this? Like, I want to hear Eric Zane's take on
Who
it.
talks way too long?
Eric Zane is the funny guy on the show.
Less you, more me.
Right. That's the motto. That should be the motto of these broadcasters. And Tom has maybe the dumbest take ever. So there was this this stealth effort that was done overnight in Iran where 30,000-pound bombs were dropped on these military targets. And I don't want to get all the way into it, but it was kind of a thing. And Tom breaks it down with like, well, hey, it's probably a drunk guy just looking for people who look Muslim to murder. And Christian doesn't go, what? What do you mean?
No, he gives him a pass.
Instead, he just goes, yeah, these guys are their maker's mark.
We get it, Carl. Christian Bladt is clearly out of his league.
He's out of his
Tom
mind.
Myers.
He's out of his mind. I love Christian. That's why he has a show on this channel. I don't know what he was thinking with this. I don't know where he was going with this. And I want to point this out before we go too much further. I only have one more clip because I don't want to ruin this show with this. But I want to point out that the Who Are These Broadcasters 100th episode was great. Mm-hmm. Aside from this 30 minutes, which is 30 minutes is a long time.
Cardiff was very funny on it.
Cardiff was very funny. Adam was very funny. Like, there's a lot of good segments. There's a lot of funny stuff. And the fact that this was like their big reveal was to bring this idiot on. And so I'm in the chat. I got better things to do. I'm prepping for the Drew Lane show later that day. But I'm in the chat and I'm calling them out, thankfully.
I have a question, Christian.
Yes,
if
sir.
some guy whose initials are KH chats, does KH have to put a dollar amount to
Well,
his chat?
he's the boss, so we're going to let Carl go ahead. Carl Hamburger, Hamburger. If Carl has a chat, Carl can bring up. Oh, no. Carl, we're your friends. What are you doing to us, Carl? Are we treating Tom like a real guest? Is this the Shuley Network? Tom is a real guest. He was kind enough to respond to my invite to.
Yeah, seriously. Stay in your goddamn lane.
So Christian is in the chat. He seems a super chat. Thank you very much, Christian. 999 says, I thought it'd be funny to give Tom all the runway he could need. How funny is it to play John's stand-up? Would it be funnier if people stood on stage and called out how bad the jokes are? Maybe. No, you're not understanding the point. It's very different. Mm-hmm. It's very different. Having John on my show, which I did twice, I called him out to his face nonstop. That was what needed to happen in that back and forth. To have Tom Myers on and just be like, ha, what do you think about Pete Heggs out there? He's just like, yeah, he's a drunk. Like, yeah, he sure is. What are we doing? Anyway, Christian, we'll talk about this offline. It's fine.
But Christian, this what you just chatted in here, this is the disconnect, because I see you in the chat. And pro tip, if you mention Christian's name in any chat room, he will respond to it. He will immediately be there, and I've never seen it go well for you. I've never seen that argument. You just gotta receive it and understand the similarities and move on. Okay, you're right.
Christian says it's also our most watched episode in 36 hours. No, the show's going great. I'm like I said, it's a good show. It's fine. You just gotta fast forward through the Tom Myers segment. And the Cardiff game that he did of being Karen Feehan
Hacker
on the Chip
killed
Show.
it. Casey Day did the funniest thing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was funny.
He did a great job.
I agree.
It's time for everyone's favorite new game show. 2 minutes with Tom. I forgot, because on the WATB thing, though, the game that they played, I forgot to mention.
Yep.
Did you notice Tom shouting out? He was making fun of the game at the end. And he goes, it's supposed to be 2 minutes with Tom. Like, he called out this game. He watches.
I wasn't really paying attention, Cardiff. I didn't see that. That's very funny.
Yeah. Go watch him play the game. It's actually amazing. Because at first he thought he was going to be playing a game about him, and then. But yeah.
I was watching a little bit of that because Cardiff pulled a clip of me on Chip Chipperson. And when the multiple choice came up, Tom's like, well, Carl actually is kind of funny. So I bet he probably did this thing. Like all of a sudden, like Tom is trying to get on my good side, or I don't know what's going on. Can't make sense of it. He did. He was the winner of it.
He caught a clubfoot by the toe.
He did. He's like Carl's more contrite than I am, so I bet it's this thing. I was like, oh shit.
What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? And Adam Bush.
Oh, God.
Are you ready to find the bomb? Playing 2 minutes with Tom.
They said I had to be clean. They said I couldn't be offensive. But no, a lot of things confuse me. They sort of baffle me. Like people at anti-immigrant rallies often claim to be pro-American. Like, really? Like, America was founded on immigrants. If you're pro-American, you have to be pro-immigrant. To me, the idea of being the most pro-American person at an anti-immigration rally, it's like...
What did Tom say next? Here are your choices. Number 1, the tallest midget in the circus. B, the thinnest person at a Weight Watchers meeting. Next, the smartest white guy at a Republican convention. 4, the fastest runner at a one-legged marathon. And lastly, the sexiest looking patient in the burn unit. 2 minutes.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 4 is way too funny to be Tom Myers. I'm just calling that right now. Might make me look dumb in a minute. I love B because it doesn't make sense. I'm going to go with B. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, B's really good because it doesn't work at all. It's a failed attempt.
Okay.
But I believe he doesn't understand certain topics, and sex is definitely one of them. So I'll go with lastly, the sexiest looking patient in the burn unit.
Annie, what do you think?
I think that's correct, but I'm going to pick lastly.
Okay.
All right.
Producer Chris?
I went with next.
Smartest white guy at a Republican convention. All right. Very possible. Although he likes to keep politics out of his stand-up, but maybe not back then.
Okay.
Let's find out.
All right.
It's with Tom.
Like, America was founded on immigrants. If you're pro-American, you have to be pro-immigrant. To me, the idea of being the most pro-American person at an anti-immigration rally, it's like being the sexiest looking patient in a burn unit.
Nice.
Wow. Well
I finally
done.
did it.
Well
Yay.
done, Annie. This is very exciting right now. I feel like trans people are winning this episode of WATP. It's amazing what's happening.
We had the 4th of July. That's a great holiday.
This episode has been brought to you by patreon.com/Cardiff Electric and Cardiff Electric's new YouTube at Cardiff Elect. Yeah. Subscribe now before it's too late.
Who are these podcasts?